Hey everyone, it's Nicole, and I am here today for the weekly workshop to talk with you about how to overcome income anxiety as a business owner. Okay, and this is a really important topic. I'm so happy that one of the amazing members of my Facebook community, my Facebook group, Unstoppable Business Community, which you can join us at nicolelaloy.com/community. But I am so happy that one of the members brought up this topic, which is how do you deal with the fear of income drying up, right? How do you feel with you get this consistent income going, you get this momentum, and how do you overcome that fear, right? And I just want to say this is a common fear. I don't know any business owner that has not experienced this. I experience it. I've experienced it since I started as a business owner, and I still experience it. So I just want to say this is a super common fear, and we all deal with this, right? And it comes back at every level. So there's definitely times where I'm okay, but if I take a break or if I finish a launch and finish a big amount of sales, I've had months where I've sold $40,000, $50,000. Suddenly that fear comes back, right? Which is crazy. Which sounds crazy. It's not crazy, I should say. So I just wanted to address that today with all of you. And if you're on, say hello. If you're watching the replay, say replay. Let me know you're here. Let us know if this is something that you have struggled with too, right? Let us know if this is something that has affected you, has affected your business, has affected the way you feel about your business, the way you feel about your success. Because here's the thing, it makes you feel shitty. It does, and it also prevents you from enjoying your current successes, right? From being proud of yourself. So once again, this is something that is super common. And if you don't know how to handle it, if you don't have tools to handle it, it can potentially sabotage your income growth, right? Because you're going to stay in fear mode. You're going to waste energy worrying, and you're not going to be putting yourself out there. You're not going to be focusing on growth tactics. And the thing is, you're not going to enjoy your business. And I think that's an important thing for us to remember, is that how can we enjoy our business? How can we enjoy the actions that we're taking? And, once again, the first thing that you need to do, right, when you are feeling anxious and overwhelmed about your income growth and how to manage it, and you're worried it's going to all dry up, and this is also, I want to address two things. This is common from the start, and then this is also common if you've ever experienced a lull in business or had a life incident happen, a death in the family, like some kind of life transition. I've noticed this is really common. I moved 2 years ago, and it just honestly threw me for multiple reasons. Like, moves don't throw everybody. It threw me for multiple reasons, personal reasons, not work reasons, but it negatively impacted my mindset, which then spread to business, which made me unable to work on growth activities for business, which then made me fear that I killed my business, right? I killed my business. My business was dead. And I still had money coming in at that time, to be honest. So, I think that it is really important to, one, examine the evidence, right? If you are feeling like your income is going to dry up, if you're feeling scared about it, even though you have like all these opportunities and income coming in right now, first of all, examine the evidence. Why would your income dry up, right? Why would it dry up? What would happen for it to dry up? What's going on right now that makes you feel like you're at risk of it drying up, right? And this is really looking at the tangible pieces, the real life pieces of your business. Are you worried it's going to dry up because you don't have a bigger audience? Are you worried it's going to dry up because you're so busy with your clients and you're not working on solidifying your structure for more? Are you worried it's going to dry up because, you know, you are dealing with some family stuff, you are dealing with some personal stuff, and you don't have as much opportunity or time to work on your business, right? Are you worried it's going to dry up because you're just, you know, you're not a confident, your confidence struggles, and you feel like you're going to be a one-hit wonder, right? Like maybe this is just a one-hit wonder thing. Are you worried it's going to dry up because you have had that experience in the past? Like it does happen at times in business. There are plans you can have. If you're worried about that a lot, please feel free to book a money mindset strategy session over at nicoleloy.com/consult, so we can kind of go over some of the specifics, because I know each of you has different personal, you know, reasons for feeling this way. And it's very easy to go into, you know, see other people having success and having that fear, you know, your friends, and being like, there's nothing for you to worry about. You're amazing. You're whatever. You're amazing. You're great. You always have money coming again. And it's really, easy to feel that way about other people, but to not feel that way about yourself, right? To not feel like you have those same resources, you have those same skills, you have the same ability. And I say this because we are high achievers, right? Drop a comment below if you identify as being a high achiever. And when you're a high achiever, you know, and I say this because most of my clients, pretty much all my clients, are high achievers. They're ambitious and they're hard on themselves. And if you are a high achiever, you know, it is a lot harder because it feels like it's never enough and you're always focused on the next goal and you're not appreciating what you have. So once again, really look at what's going on in your personal life right now, or what's happened in your past that's making you feel this way. Even if you are steady, even if you have steady growth, even if you've had steady growth, right? I still feel this way sometimes, even though I've consistently grown my income, sometimes by very large percentages, like 40%, 25% every year, right? And, you know, once again, this still comes up for me. And this comes up for my clients a lot too. And I say that because I've had clients who have had huge income growth. And I'm talking about going from $500 a month to $7,000 a month, $3,000 a month to $30,000 a month. You know, and it's common for them too. They've 10x their income, they've 5x their income. It's been steady and consistent. And there may be a month where things slow down a little bit, or they don't get new calls, and sometimes their income stays steady, but they're still worried about income growth, right? They're still worried about income growth. They're still worried about, you know, how to handle this. They're still worried it's like not enough. And, you know, the truth is that it is enough, and you have to stay on top of it. You have to be able to manage this, right? Like you can't let it like turn into that negative spiral, because, you know, it just really does, it really can overwhelm you. So anyways, here's the deal. First, examine the evidence and then experience gratitude and acknowledge where you are. Think about how good it feels to be having the steady income instead of worrying about how it's all going to dry up. How would that feel for you? Drop a comment below. Let me know how it would feel for you to focus on actually enjoying what you have right now and thinking about, you know, what are the steps you took to get it? Are you still taking those steps? I mean, that's the other thing that I've seen happen for people who do have income dips, and, you know, we can definitely overcome that. So if you are in the process of an income dip, once again, book a consult. You can use the link in the description or go to nicoleloy.com/consult. And, you know, this is something we can definitely handle, but if you're not expressing gratitude, if you're not acknowledging, right, what's really going on, how you can deal with this, how you can enjoy this, how you can really appreciate the work you've put into this, it's going to be hard to continue it for sure, because it means you're constantly in striving mode. You're not in thriving mode ever. And you know, the key is to stay mindful, right? This is where mindfulness comes in. This is where, you know, you don't want to focus on the present. You want to focus on the present. You don't want to focus on the future. You know, once again, you should have a plan in place for the future, but you can't obsess about all these negative things happening in the future. And you certainly can't obsess over what's happening in the past, you know? You can obsess over previous things that happen. You can learn from them, and you can take what you learn from them to, you know, to create an emergency plan, a backup plan, something like that, so that it doesn't happen in the future. So things like that include increasing your savings when times are going well, right? Creating a goal for savings. How much do you need to feel safe and secure? And I mean, like, I don't want you to make it outrageous. Like, if you have only $5,000 in the bank and you're like, I need $100,000, that's going to be really hard. That is going to keep you in a position of stress. But if you have like $25,000, if you have $5,000, then you're like, okay, like I will feel much better with $25,000. Then that gives you a much more tangible goal to work towards. And then from there, you can keep increasing it, right? But I think that can also, like, overly setting big goals that are going to be hard for you to reach. You know, I think that can be really, really, really good, you know, to just have tangible goals, right? And set bigger goals, stretch yourself. But, you know, once again, appreciate the milestones on your way there. Be grateful, express gratitude, feel excitement, feel joy. And once again, you have to really, it doesn't always happen naturally. I'll be honest, it doesn't happen naturally for me because I'm a high anxiety person. I have a short attention span. I'm moving on to the next thing. I'm moving on to the next goal. And it can be really, really easy to go into negativity, to go into panic mode. So take time to be intentional about it. If you have to schedule it in, if you have to set reminders, like, once again, I'm someone who can get really in my head. I'm not always grounded in the present moment. So it can be really, once again, hard for me to even remember to be grateful. So set up a gratitude process, set up a process where you're looking at your numbers, make sure you're actually tracking your numbers, right? September is always a slow month for you. How can you prep for it the next year? What can you do to increase it? Or can you just accept that it is a slower month, right? I've had a lot of clients say the first week of September was really slow. Now, they also had huge months in August. They hit their best month ever, right? And that's crazy because before they were telling me summer was really slow. And now they've actually had it. And now they're upset because, or frustrated or worried or concerned because maybe they didn't hear from people the first week, but they're already doing good and they're maintaining what they have. So also expect that being level, if you're at a good place, if you've had income growth and it's level for a little bit, that's a good thing too. That's a good sign. You don't just want to have a huge month, right? You want to make sure that you are having consistent income or having solid income booked out. Now, I'm someone who does have huge months, right? But I know that that is covering future months of work in my clients. A lot of my clients pay in full for their coaching services. And actually, that it's very interesting because that's something that's changed over time. As my prices have increased, more people have paid in full. Don't know why. I'll be honest, don't know why. Haven't really thought about it. So once again, like, I will have very high months in income and income growth and business. And it can be, you know, really, really, it can be really amazing to have those big income months, but I have to remember, like, the next month is going to be lower, and those things don't upset me anymore. Thank goodness I've worked around that. I understand how it works. But when you're early on in having some of those experiences, it can feel really tough. And once again, if you have a big month, if you have some extra things in there, you know, don't compare that to your next month, right? Unless there's like this huge income drop and all your clients quit or dropped out, then you have to really worry. But the other thing is to really look at from a strategic place, what helped you get to that month? Are you doing those actions? Here's the thing. A lot of times when we get to that income growth or we book out a ton of income, we stop doing the things to keep it happening. And I've had that experience myself, right? And then I've had to struggle to get it back. And I've seen clients have that too, where they get comfortable with what the income they brought in and they stop the marketing task. They stop the outreaching. They stop the connection. They don't focus on the list building because they feel like that's not bringing in instant money. And as a result, they damage their long-term income growth potential. So once again, just think about, really look at the actions that you're specifically taking. Did you outreach to a lot of people? Did you go to an event? Did you do a live webinar or live training, which helped you engage with more people? How can you repeat what you've done in the past to keep going? And the truth is, you guys, as a former therapist, if your anxiety is paralyzing, if it's something that keeps happening, please, please, please reach out for help, right? Reach out for help to a therapist, or reach out for some support. Let people know what's going on, because honestly, it may be other stuff, right? Sometimes, like for me, I know, like I have seasonal stuff. When winter hits, like my energy goes down and my motivation decreases. So that is not a good time for me to do big events or to do huge launches, things like that. Really, the summer is a better time for me. So also figure out, what do you need to do? When I started with my business, I did have a therapy practice. Income was very like weekly, clients could cancel. It did leave me feeling in a high place of anxiety. And because I know that I struggle with anxiety, I knew that I needed to remodel my business in a way that felt like I had more security and things I could do with that time. So that's why I started adding in, at that time, I wrote a book, I added in some courses, I added in affiliate income and things like that. So I think the other piece is making sure you're looking at your income sources, your income streams, and what you can do to get that stronger, to get that healthier, to get that better. Once again, if you guys are on, make sure you say hello. Sometimes I don't see the comments till after. So if you're watching the replay or whatever, don't worry, I'm gonna come back. If you have questions of any of this, if you have specific or unique situations around this, I really do recommend you book a strategy session so we can go over your mindset and just see what you could do to switch it. This is not something you want to push away or hide under the covers with, even though it feels that way, right? This is something that you want to make sure that you are addressing. And this is something too that sometimes we do surfacey self-care stuff, like we will book massages or try to plan a spa day or binge Netflix. And that can feel good temporarily, but in terms of the long-term care of your business, your health, and changing these things, that's not gonna change the root of this, right? So once again, it's not that you just skip that stuff, but you do have to also think about what helps me feel good consistently. How can I have a plan that makes me feel good consistency? And then the last thing I really want you guys to think about is, who are you surrounding yourself with, right? Are you surrounding yourself with other worriers? Are you surrounding yourself with people who don't even realize they're worrying and having anxiety? The truth is, I do talk to my friends about my anxieties and fears, but I also really acknowledge in that moment to them, like, I know this, I'm sorry if I'm sounding negative right now, or I acknowledge I know I'm sounding negative right now. Are you okay listening to this? And I don't want it to affect their mindset. I want to keep it like, it's my issue and I know it. I don't want to get, there's a difference between really having a conversation about your fears and anxieties and also just kind of doing that bitching session constantly and constantly falling into that and not letting yourself, when I have friends who have fears and anxieties too, I have to be really careful to just kind of hear them out and be present with them and support them in that moment, rather than kind of having it go into a thing where you kind of almost get into what feels like a competition and you're like, I understand, like, yes, that's so hard and this is what's going in my life, and it's like gets into that catastrophizing thing. We have hard times, we have anxieties, we need to talk about it to our friends, but be careful that it doesn't turn into a bitch fest where you feel like shit. Listen to your friend, hear them, see if they want solutions, right? See if they want to explore solutions. Sometimes we don't want to explore solutions in that moment. But if you are also, if all your friends are this way, if you are going out with a group of friends or other business owners and it's always like this, I've had so many clients who have had horrendous experiences with other business owners who have totally put their anxiety on them and given them very bad advice. I see it a lot of times too in Facebook groups where people are super negative and they're not really looking for solutions. They automatically say, I tried that, or that's not going to work for me. And that's the other thing, is we have to be really open to to trying things again, to not automatically saying that, to just kind of like whatever, like really, really tackling that, right? And the more you can surround yourself with other positive, motivated people and have real conversations. We all have anxiety. Don't have expectations that somebody's going to be positive all the time. But if people are constantly bringing you down, and it's not just like a rough spot, you need to make sure, you need to be careful with how you're being triggered with the conversation. Either you need to kind of decrease the contact with that person if this is always something happening, or you need to have a real honest conversation with them about it, or you need to gently change the topics and not get into those conversations anymore. I have an amazing, amazing friend who I grew up with, and she has really negative views on money and mindset, and never has enough money and is always talking about it. And it would really trigger me. And I would feel like I had to then tell her about my money fears and my money anxiety and my stress, and like explain it and give evidence. Like, I'm really someone who loves, I could probably be a lawyer. My mom used to say, I can give evidence for all those negative stories, right? You can give evidence. If you can give evidence for a while the negative shit is happening and why your income might dry up, then you can do the same for the opposite, right? But when you're with someone who is, has that negative mindset, it's very easy to want to empathize with them, to sympathize with them by also talking about your negative shit, and get pulled into that. And truthfully, it was a hard thing for me to change. And what I started doing was I just didn't respond to her triggers or her comments. If she was like, hey, I like your shirt, how much was it? Or where'd you get it? Or I don't have any new clothes ever. And me going into like, oh, I got it from Gap Factory and it was 20% off and I only paid like $9 for it. I love Gap Factory, by the way, you guys. That's where I get like 90% of my clothes. Well, maybe like 75% along with the Loft and Banana Republic. Just a little fact for you. So this is totally, I had to just kind of stop like with that conversation. I heard her and I would not engage in it. I would not, I wouldn't bring it back to things. I would make sure that, I kept it where it should be, right? And I would switch to other topics and just not really engage in it. And it's not like I was like overtly obvious to them. They didn't have any problems with it. And it really did help the situation. So if you guys can let me know in the comments, like what your triggers are for being fearful about money, anxiety, and income, drying up, just drop it in the comments below. I will definitely come back to answer it. And if you want to explore it a little deeper, feel free to book a money mindset session at nicolelaloy.com/consult. I'm really looking forward to talking to you and exploring this. This isn't something you should be with on your own, right? But just be careful, once again, who you're choosing to talk to you about it. If your partner is really negative, if your parents are negative, if this is something that's happened as a kid, they may not be the best people to talk to you about it. You may need someone professional to talk about it. Either you need maybe someone to help you create more stability in your business, like a business coach if you don't know how to do that. And if you need somebody to help you really deal with the mental health piece, then reach out to a therapist for sure. If you need help figuring out how to find one, once again, drop in the comments below. I used to be a therapist. And if you guys need anything else, please feel free to reach out at any time. I know this stuff can be paralyzing, and this does really sabotage a lot of people's businesses because it prevents them from taking the action they need because they already don't believe it's going to work. And I will see you guys at next week's workshop. I'm really excited as of right now. It's about bookkeeping. It's with my bookkeeping team. And we're going to go into how bookkeeping can really save you a lot of time and money and help you be a better business owner. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.